Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our distance learning course on research methodology. We are still on chapter 12, video part 2. Chapter 12 is about selecting a sample. So in this part, we're going to talk about some concepts of sampling for quantitative research. You can refer to pages 229 to 230 in our course book written by Ranjit Kumar, a fourth edition published in 2014. So, for example, in your research, you might want to find out the average age of your class. Your class might consist of 25 classmates or 30 classmates, and you want to find out the average age, the mean age of your class. In another research journey, you might want to find out the average income of families in a city. So this is your next research journey. You might want to find out that. And regarding politics, you might want to find out the final election outcome. You want to conduct an opinion poll or many opinion polls. So in these three examples, you want to know the average age of your class, the average income of the households in the city, and you want to predict the electorate outcomes, the election outcomes. In order to get the answers that you want to find out, you have the first option and the second option. For the first option, you can contact all students in your class. You can talk to all 30 classmates and ask them the same question. What is your age? What is your actual age? So you ask everyone. You add up all ages. You arrive at the total sum ages, and you divide the total sum by the number of classmates, in this case 30. And then you can get the answers to your question, the average of your class. That's the first option. You contact everyone. You contact all classmates, all students. For the second research topic, you can go to every family, every household in the city, and ask perhaps the head of the household one question. On average, how much does your family earn per year? So you go to every family in the town, ask every family one question, you sum up the average annual income and divide the total sum by the number of households in the city. And then you get the answer. That is the average income. For the third research topic here, you can contact all voters and ask them about their election preferences, political preferences, and you can draw a conclusion or you can predict the final election result. These are the first options that are available for you as the researcher, but they can be expensive. Sometimes it's impossible to do so. It's impossible to go to every family or to talk to all voters. That's not possible sometimes. That is why we have the second option for your consideration. Rather than collecting data from all classmates, you can select, for example, a few of them and ask a few of them about their age, and you can calculate the average age of your sample, and then you generalize the average age from your sample to the population to the whole class, or you can estimate the average age of your class based on a few classmates that you talk to. Similarly, in the second example, rather than go into every family, you select, for example, 5% of the households in the city, or even 1%, or 50 households, or 100 households. Collect the data from them, and then you can compute the average annual incomes of the families who participated in your study. And then you can make a prediction or make an estimate of the average income for every family in the city. Also, in the third example, you can talk to a very small group of voters, and you can predict the election outcome. So the idea is to make an estimate or to make a prediction of average age of your class, the average income of the households in the city, or to predict the election outcome simply by talking to a few students, a few families, or a very small group of voters, rather than talking to everyone, which is very, very expensive and very, very difficult to do. So let's go to some advantages of selecting a sample. Yes, it's obvious that by talking to a small group of students, or small groups of voters, or small groups of family, it saves time. That's the first advantage. It saves a lot of time. It also saves financial resources and human resources. We know that financial resources and human resources are limited everywhere. We have financial constraint and human resources constraint. Therefore, doing your research, collecting data from a subgroup, a smaller group that is drawn out from the bigger population, gonna saves a lot of things. Some disadvantages of selecting a sample. The first advantage is this: we do not obtain information about the population's characteristics of interest to you, because you don't collect the data from everyone. You don't obtain information about, for example, their age, or their income, or the political party that they voted for. We do not know exactly their age and their income, but we can only estimate or predict such income, or such age, or such characteristics on the basis of what you found out in your sample. So you can see, when we collect data from a sample, we're gonna compute sample statistics, or such as average annual incomes, or the average age, or the attitude. We do not collect such information from the population, and then we can generalize the result. We can make only estimate. So when we make an estimate, when we make a prediction, the possibility of an error is always there. So now it's time for us to weigh the advantages and the disadvantages of doing research based on selecting a sample. So these are some basic concepts that we all need to learn, we all need to know regarding sampling. Thank you very much for your attention to this lesson, and we shall go on to the next videos.